In a tense and headline-grabbing moment at the White House on Monday, former President Donald Trump engaged in a heated back-and-forth with CNN primetime anchor Kaitlan Collins over the controversial deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Salvadoran national alleged to be a member of the violent MS-13 gang. The confrontation unfolded in the Oval Office during a meeting between Trump and El Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele. As Collins attempted to ask a question, Trump interrupted her with a jab, calling her a very low-rated anchor and suggesting CNN was pushing a biased narrative. Unfazed, Collins pressed on, questioning whether Trump would request Bukele's cooperation in facilitating the return of Abrego Garcia, who had reportedly been mistakenly deported despite a pending legal matter in the United States. Trump then directed Attorney General Pam Bondi to respond. Bondi asserted that Abrego Garcia had been determined by immigration courts to be in the U.S. illegally and affiliated with MS-13, a gang that Trump had designated as a foreign terrorist organization. She noted it was ultimately up to El Salvador whether they wanted to allow the individual's return. Trump jumped in again, accusing CNN of asking with a slant, claiming the network deliberately distorts facts to serve its agenda. "They don't know what's happening, that's why nobody is watching them," Trump remarked with characteristic bluntness. Adding further weight to his argument, Trump called on senior advisor Stephen Miller, who labeled Collins's question as arrogant and presumptive, saying it was out of line for the American media to suggest how another nation should handle its citizens. Miller emphasized that under Trump's designation of MS-13 as a foreign terrorist group, Abrego Garcia would not be eligible for any form of immigration relief. The issue stems from a court order mandating the U.S. government take steps to facilitate Garcia's return after his removal was deemed improper. However, the Justice Department pushed back, arguing that federal courts lack the authority to direct the executive branch on foreign relations matters. They clarified that the order only obligated the government to remove domestic barriers to Garcia's potential return, not to demand his return from El Salvador. Despite this legal tug-of-war, the Supreme Court upheld a ruling by U.S. District Judge Paula Sinis, stating the U.S. must ensure Garcia's case proceeds as it would have had he not been wrongly deported. Yet the Trump administration portrayed the ruling as a legal and political win. "We won a case 9-0, Miller said defiantly. But CNN wants to spin it as a loss because they want foreign terrorists in this country, criminals who kidnap women and children. As Collins tried to follow up, reminding Trump of his previous comments about abiding by the Supreme Court's decision, the former president shot back sharply. "Why don't you just say, 'Isn't it wonderful that we're keeping criminals out of our country?' Why can't you just say that?" he asked, clearly irritated. "Why do you go over and over? And that's why nobody watches you anymore. You have no credibility." The fiery exchange underscored Trump's continued disdain for mainstream media outlets and his aggressive posture on immigration, especially when it comes to individuals associated with violent gangs. It also highlighted the legal complexities and political tensions surrounding executive authority, foreign policy, and the U.S. immigration system.